Keep that inside covered. Throttle down as early as we can without running wide. Alright guys, hello, welcome to another race video. Today is our first video for 2023. We're driving the new GR86 in iRacing for the very first time. First race we've done in iRacing for a very long time. So check out all the details for the race down in the description below. But thank you very much to Asetek Sim Sports for sponsoring today's video. As we just desync there for a second, we should be all good from here on in. That seems to happen at the start of races. So big thank you to Asetek Sim Sports for sponsoring today's video. They're going to be shipping pre-orders of their brand new wheels, pedals, and all the bits and pieces very, very soon, I believe. So definitely very keen to check those out for myself as well. And you can check them out via the links down in the description below. Big thank you to them for sponsoring today's video. So we're starting in third on the grid today. I've had a bit of a drive of this car over the last few days, now that my leg has started to get a little bit better from the cellulitis that I've had. Managed to chuck it in third on the grid. So the field is very bunched up though time-wise in qualifying. So I'm expecting a bit of a battle today. When's he gonna go? There we go. All right, we're off.
Go.
Car on the left.
Okay, well, 15 minutes left. That's 15 minutes.
Car left.
Keep it on the inside.
Hold your line. Clear left.
Good. All right, we're back up to second. Trying to keep it as tight as we can around here. Got to get the throttle down as early as you can in this car because it's very low on power compared to what I'm used to driving in the GT3s. So power on as soon as we can there.
Start's okay. Let's get stuck in.
And we'll talk a little bit about the handling of this car as we get through today's race. I just need to settle into a bit of a rhythm first here. I can't even get my words out properly. Try not to run out onto the grass. He is very close behind, so we're going to have to defend on the inside a little bit here.
Me too.
Keep that inside covered. Throttle down as early as we can without running wide. All right, we're good. Bit of a breakaway bunch here with the top three. Back on the gas. See if we can slipstream him down the straight. Just keep him under pressure. Had to lift a little bit there. Not ideal.
Just done a 1:00.6.
Keep it tight.
The guy behind has just done a 1:00.6.
Everybody's lap times are identical.
Me too.
All right. So the car has a lot of lift-off oversteer, so very similar to my BRZ that I used to have, for those of you who've been watching the channel for a while. So it definitely rewards smooth driving. You really need to use the weight of the car to hook it around turns. You want to get on the throttle as early as you possibly can in this car, which is a little bit counterintuitive at first.
Just done a 59.7. Well, that was a 59.9.
Just kind of using the throttle to balance the rear of the car. It's a lot less rigid than, say, a GT3 car, for example, which makes it very rewarding to drive, but difficult to master at first. I definitely wouldn't say that I've completely mastered the car, but definitely starting to get the hang of it. So it's definitely a fun car to drive. It's great that there's a lot of people driving it too, so the splits tend to match you with people that are similar to your skill level rather than being a massive variety, which really helps as well to the quality of the racing. So,
The gap in front has increased to 0.9.
all right, I need to focus here. He's starting to get away from me. We're building a bit of a gap behind as well, but I don't want to get out of slipstream here.
Sector 1 is 0.3 off the pace.
Keep the nose in. All right. Oh, he's a little wide there. That's going to spook him. This might be our only opportunity. Get after that Kool-Aid.
Okay,
Just have to lift a little bit there again. Probably turned in a little bit too soon.
The guy behind has just done a 59.9.
Oh, the guy behind's fast now too. I've never quite broken into the 59s. I've done a 1 minute flat, but not a 59. So he's got more potential than he's showing at the moment too. These are the best kind of battles though, because you've got to watch what's going on behind you without losing touch of what's going on in front of you. Not quite nailing that last turn, still having to lift off just a tiny bit.
You need to pass this track, you're losing too much time.
I know, Jim, I know.
1:00.2.
He's picked up his pace.
Yellow flag.
Oh, yellow flag ahead. That was better. We do have some lapped cars coming up, or a lapped car, so may get sketchy.
Sector 2 and 3 are fast. Sector 1 is 0.4 off the pace.
Just got to stay with him.
Halfway home, fuel's good.
We're absolutely neck and neck. I actually did crack into the 59s. My last lap was my fastest lap ever. So I'm pushing.
That lap time was 1:00.1.
All right. Oh, late on the throttle again. I'm just losing the time there. Oh, he's out again.
0.7.
Such a fun car to drive though.
Alright, well, this bastard's holding you up. You've got to find a way past.
I need to practice those last 2 corners. That's where I'm losing time.
You've just done a 1:00.6.
A little bit of a netcode glitch there. We're okay. Alright, we're going to be up with Jesus in a second. Up ahead. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't you run wide.
That's 5 minutes to go. Come on.
Scruffy lap.
We'll be on the podium here.
So it only takes one little tiny mistake or a couple of little tiny mistakes and drops you off the back. I need him to make a mistake now.
Defend hard. Make them work for it.
Stephen's right up my backside again too. Come on. Gaining a little bit. It's better.
The gap in front is now 1.0 seconds.
Catching again. Oh, he's out of shape. Here's our chance.
Left side.
Oh, what are you doing, man? What happened there?
We might win
He
this.
just turned in on me. Oh boy, we'll have to look at the replay of that. I was alongside him and he just didn't leave any space. Oh, it's going to be a controversial one. Oh boy.
You're in the lead.
I mean, from this perspective, it looked like he just turned in on me, but I have to look at the replay of it to really know what happened there. Could have been netcode as well, but let's not get too hung up on it now. We've still got a race to win here. Controversy. Try and stay ahead of Stephen.
To go for 2 minutes.
He's got a good run to cover the inside.
Left. Hold your line. Still there. Hold your line. Clear left.
The lap times are dropping off. Come on, stay focused.
I know. Just got to cover those lines. Once he gets a chance, he'll be through. Only a couple more laps. All right, final lap, guys. Can we hold on? 0.3 second gap.
Come on, Will. Last lap. Keep your shit together. You're not home yet. That last lap was at 1:00.6 seconds.
He's right with me.
That's half fuel. You've used half your fuel.
Keep it on the black stuff. He's dropped back a bit. I think we're good. I don't want to get too excited about the win until I've had a look at that replay. I think we're safe with that, but yeah, definitely need to look at the replay. But yeah, at least we won the race.
Drive, absolutely flawless.
Woo! Well, Jim said it was a flawless drive. Let's see what you guys think in the comments, and definitely jump in and have a look at that replay too. Oh man, iRacing definitely has its moments of awesomeness. That was so much fun. This car is so much fun to drive, guys. It's not the best rookie car in the world, maybe just because it is quite unforgiving, but I really enjoy driving it, and I think you will too if you give it a chance. All right, let's have a look at those results and the replay. All right, so let's start off this replay having a look at how things played out on lap 1. There's a couple of things I want to get out of this. Obviously, we're going to take a look at the incident and see exactly what played out there. Also want to have a little bit of a look and see whether there's any obvious pointers from the cars around me where I'm losing pace or faster than those guys, just so we can sort of get a feel for where I might be able to improve things, and I hope that can help you guys out too. Now, this is never about blaming people specifically for incidents. It's all just about trying to learn. I can hear some carnage behind here. So obviously there's some things going on there that we need to have a look at. But Stephen in the HKS car there actually left a lot more space there than he perhaps needed to. So definitely didn't make it hard for me to get past. And from here, it's all pretty clean. So let's just have a little look at that incident and see what happened in turn 1 with those other guys. So we're keeping an eye on that bright coloured car on the outside of the track, just coming past the pit lane now. Not the Pennzoil one, the other one. So what's happened here? Got a 3 wide, and oh, he's just carrying way more speed. Oh no, it's just triggered absolute carnage. I don't want to, it's so easy to miss your marker there. You don't know where people are going to brake, and it's such an easy mistake to make. I've done that so many times myself, so certainly not going to crucify him, but that's what happened there. Let's go back now, follow above me, and see how my pace compared to some of the other guys once the tyres warmed up. All right, so this is the start of lap 3 now. What I'm interested in seeing is where the other guys around me are turning in compared to me and how aggressive they're being with the curves. Particularly this left-hander here. There's a couple of different lines you can take in the slower cars. You want to try to go a little bit wider so you can get back on the throttle early and carry speed all the way through this section. If you get that wrong, by the time you get down to the tight right-hander, you can get overtaken very easily. So I was a little later on the brakes there, but getting on the throttle nice and early. I'm not noticing the other cars sort of pulling away from me or anywhere there. Looks like we're pretty even. I'm also interested to see where they're turning in here too. So I may be again a little bit more aggressive with the curb, but hard to say. I was finding I was having to back out just a touch, not having to touch the brake, but just having to lift off the throttle a touch mid-corner on both of those corners. So there's some, I'm leaving time on the table somewhere. It's about a 1 second gap between my best lap and the fastest guy's laps. I've seen a couple of guys down in the mid 58s. There may be people faster than that. That's the fastest I've seen. My best lap is a high 59. So I'm definitely leaving some time on the table somewhere. I think it's probably here where I'm not getting on the throttle quite soon enough. Maybe cutting that apex a little bit too tight. And then coming down here into the braking zone. I think I probably want to be a little earlier on the brakes and then maybe on the throttle a little bit soon. You really want to be on the throttle before you hit the apex here to really kind of power you up the hill, it seems at least. And again, let me know if you're an expert on this car, let me know in the comments whether there's anything you're seeing here that can help the community out with ways to improve. But overall, I think relative pace-wise, we were doing pretty well. We'll obviously see that when we have a look at the results in just a minute. But let's fast forward to the incident now. All right, so this is lap 12. Now, I want to preface this again by saying this isn't about pointing blame at anyone specifically. Obviously, you guys will let me know in the comments if you think it's my fault or if you think it's his fault, and that's fine. But really what we're trying to do here is, we're not trying to crucify anybody. We're just trying to learn from what's happened and see what we could have done differently. So let's have a look here at Matt coming through. He's got a little sideways on the exit there. You can see he got out of shape, and already you can see the closing speed there. Now, this is where it gets interesting because he's left the door pretty open there and then started to kind of come across again. It's not quite as clear cut there perhaps as it seemed from my cockpit. Now, let's have a little look here at what played out afterwards as well. I want to see what happened to him afterwards, because one thing I noticed, I did have a look at the race results, but I didn't look at the replay up until this point. He had 7 incident points in the race. I had 0, so there was no contact registered for any of that on my screen, which leads me to think that maybe netcode had more to play here than it looked like from the replay that we've recorded. But I just want to see here, probably had 4 incident points from the contact with us there, and let's have a look. Okay, yeah, there was another contact there as well, so that would probably account for some more of those incident points. I wasn't sure whether maybe he was getting a lot of off tracks somewhere, but probably not the case. So let's have a look now at the chase cam from my perspective, and we'll have a look at it from his perspective, have a look at some cockpit views as well, and see if we can decipher exactly what's happening here. All right, so slow-mo far chase coming up the hill. You'll see him coming into view in just a moment. And what I'm interested in is to see from this kind of fixed perspective behind my car, whether it looks like he's turning in, whether it looks like I'm drifting into him, or it's just some sort of a neutral thing in between the two. So it's interesting that he left so much space there on the entry. He's like he's invited me to go down the inside here at this point. He knows I'm coming, and he's left that door open. Now it looks from my camera view here like he started to drift back in again. Like your normal racing line is all the way out there. So normally you'd be drifting all the way out wide and then come in. So it's just funny that he's left the door open, but then, come across, at least it looks that way from that perspective. Not as aggressively as it seemed from my cockpit view when I was actually driving. But let's have a look at it, same perspective from his view. Then we'll have a look at the cockpit cams. All right, so this gives us the opportunity to see exactly what happened with him too. So he's bumped up over that curve. That actually probably isn't off track, and you can see the back wheels actually come up, which has unsettled the car. He's gotten sideways and he's lost all of his speed coming up the hill. So at this point, he already knows he's in trouble. He knows that we're going to be coming through. So let's just have a look at how he positions his car. Remembering again that the camera is kind of in a fixed position behind his car. So it should be able to sort of tell us whether he's drifting to the right or left or just holding a straight line. So again, he's left the door open here. The normal racing line is to go further wide. So he's kind of positioning himself in the middle here and making me choose. But then you can see there he's started to straighten up, and then, it's hard to say. There's a little bit of contact there, and then he's turned in. I wouldn't be surprised if that initial contact actually sent him into a slide, and that's why it looks on our replay like he's coming across. I've had enough experience with these kinds of incidents that I know that my replay doesn't necessarily tell the full story. I'd really love to see a copy of the replay from his perspective, because I'm guessing it probably looks more like I bashed into him, it turned him, and then that movement that we see to the right from our perspective is probably him already in a slide on his one. Now, he definitely could have left more space there on the outside. He had more space to give than I did, so I'm not saying it's 100% my fault or anything, but I definitely feel like there's more to this story than what we're seeing from just this replay. Let's have a look at my cockpit cam now, and then we'll have a look at his. All right, so coming down the hill on the throttle, I already know he's in trouble here. We're gaining really quick, and I have to make a decision. Am I going to go outside or inside? He's moved across to the left, opened that door, and then you can see how it looks like he's come across there. Let's have another look at that in slow motion. So we can see him sliding. I already know that he's zapped all of his speed at this point, so I know that I'm going to be gaining on him. And he's already pretty wide from being unsettled here. So as I said before, the normal line would be to cut this corner pretty tight and then kind of move to the left to open up that corner to the right. But you can see here, he knows I'm coming. He's moved to the left to give me space on the inside at this point. And then let's have a look here. Let's see what happens. Then he starts to come across. You can see clearly there his car looks like it's coming across here. I'm sort of trying to hold a straight line, trying to give myself as much space for that corner as possible. And then we got that secondary contact. But again, it's hard to say whether it's the net code there or not. Let's have a look at it from his onboard now and have a look at his steering wheel movements. All right, so slow-mo again. Everything happens too quick in real time. So the problems have kind of started. He's not hopped the curb too much there, but definitely hopped the curb here. You can see the car's lurched. He's out of shape now. He's sliding, having to counter steer. He's actually lucky he didn't loop there entirely, but that's zapped all of his speed. You can see he's all the way down in first gear now. Maxing out first gear, up into second. So at this point, he can see in his mirror. He knows that I'm coming. So he's started to go for the apex and then gone wide. So he's making a conscious decision there to allow space on the inside for me to get up there. But then he's not opening up the corner like you normally would. So he's sort of thinking about blocking and then... Oh, it's so hard to say. What's the point of contact? Here. Okay, yeah. So he's turning to the right when the contact takes place. But again, maybe on his replay, the contact had already taken place. I don't know, guys. It's a really hard one to call. I mean, you know, I don't want to apportion blame. I just want to kind of learn from the incident and see what happened. What do you guys think? Do you think that he could have left more space? Do you think I shouldn't have gone for the move at all? Again, considering the fact that if I had backed out, I would have ended up in 4th place because Stephen would have shot through. It's a really, really tough one for me to call there. But yeah, it's really unfortunate that he ended up spinning and then obviously ended up having that secondary contact later on as well, which basically ruined his race. But that's the way things go, unfortunately, sometimes. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. But let's jump in now and have a look at the race results. Okay, so we were split number 3 with a strength of field of 1.5K, almost 1.6K. My iRating has taken a beating over the last 6 months or so, simply because I haven't been doing all that many races, and I did have quite a few horrible races in F3 when I was recording some races, and I actually need to record some more races in F3 this month as well. So hopefully we can balance that out now that I've got a bit more time to start racing again. We can balance that out and have a little bit more of a higher iRating, hopefully. I normally sort of sit around the sort of 2 to 2.2K mark, but it doesn't take much to drop that down if you have a couple of bad races and, you know, just generally not driving very much. But let's have a look at the relative pace here. What did we get? We've got a plus 9.1 on our iRating, which is great. 0 incident points, as I mentioned before, so that's what led me to believe that maybe there was something going on with netcode there. If we have a look at Matt, by comparison, he had those 7 incident points. I would imagine that 4 of those were probably the contact with me, and then maybe another 2 might have been that contact that we saw later on, and then the other 1 is probably an off-track, probably when he got sideways there off the chicane. Relative pace-wise, we actually did okay. Matt was the fastest with a 59.686. I managed a 59.895, which is actually my fastest ever lap, I believe, which is cool. Average lap time of 1 minute 8. So my average lap time was a second slower than my best lap time. So obviously there are some consistency things there, which I can work on. But look, relative pace to the guys around me, we were pretty close. And you can see most of the field, in fact, up to about 10th place, were all kind of hovering around the mid to low 1 second range. So that's what I was saying earlier in the video about, you know, when you're racing cars that have a lot of people competing, it does group you into, you know, people that are more like your skill level, which can lead to better quality, closer racing. Whereas if you're racing in a car that doesn't have many other competitors, you know, you're mixing in with a lot of different skill levels and it can become a bit more chaotic. So really enjoying driving this car so far, and do hope that we see the numbers sort of continue to increase, or at least stay where they are now with sort of 200 people per session, because it definitely makes it a lot more enjoyable. But that is it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please do leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. And again, we don't want to turn this into a massive argument in the comments. It would be great to sort of discuss what happened and sort of see what your guys' perspective on it is, but please do keep it civil. You know, I don't want to get attacked online. I don't want to see anybody else getting attacked online. You know, it's a new year. Let's keep things nice and friendly. And, you know, people that are coming in watching these videos for the first time, we want them to have a good impression of sim racing. They don't want it to, you know, look like a bunch of people bickering over a computer game. So let's keep it civil. level, guys. Thank you very much. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I will see you again for another race video very soon. And thank you once again to Acertech Sim Sports for sponsoring today's video. Thanks for all the support, guys. I will see you again very soon. Bye.